What is going on, everybody? It is January 7th, 2021, which means that the 100 Days of Schisandra is officially starting today. So I hope that you all have watched those videos, because if you haven't, where I talk about what the 100 Days of Schisandra is, you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I've put links in the description box, and I'll pin some in the comments as well to all the videos that I mention the 100 Days of Schisandra challenge in. So I wanted to just clarify a few things before we get this thing launched. Even though it's launching today, I just want to lay out some preliminary information. I want to show you on the screen right now what Schisandra looks like when you do not brew it properly. So as you can see on the screen right now, you can see through the liquid. It doesn't really have a red color. You can see the whole berries, and I want to show you on the screen right now what it looks like when you brew it properly. So to brew Schisandra properly, you want to grind the berries. That will increase the surface area. You'll get more of the essential oils out of the berries. The color will change from like a clear liquid, like you saw on the first picture. It will turn from a clear liquid to a grapefruit color. The Schisandra will also increase in potency 100-fold or more. If you drink Schisandra the way that most people drink it, you really won't get much benefit from it. And the way that most people drink it is they just throw the berries in some boiling water, and then, they drink it. Grind your berries first. So I've shown you guys already how to brew Schisandra properly if you have moist berries. I'm going to show you how to brew Schisandra properly if you have dry berries. If you have dry berries, all you need to do is throw them into a coffee grinder and grind them. Or you can use a high-powered blender, that's what I prefer. Reduce it to a powder and then add your dose to per cup. I'll show you guys exactly how to do that in the near future. Right now I'm using the Wanafu, I think the name of the brand is, Schisandra berries from Chiangbai Mountain, which are incredibly high-quality berries. They're moist, they're fresh, I love them, but you can't really throw those into a coffee grinder because last time I did that I had some issues because it kind of gummed up. So what I do is I soak them, I blend them, and then I boil the berries. Someone asked me recently, can I just eat the berries raw? And you can, but I've found that you get more out of it when you heat it up. So what I like to do is I'll eat the Schisandra berries raw by themselves. I'll throw a few in my mouth, maybe like a tablespoon or less, and I'll chew them when I'm out on my bike. And that will really give you a boost. But when you grind the berries, when you increase the surface area, when you pulverize everything and you add heat to it, you extract so much more liquid or nutrition out of the berries. So I like to do both. I do raw and I do heated berries. Which brings me to my next point. All these people want to say that raw food is the only way to go, that heat destroys all nutrients. Ladies and gentlemen, Chinese medicine has proved that incorrect time and time again for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's all about context. I'm not saying that raw food is bad for you. I think that raw living foods full of enzymes, you name it, is incredibly good for the body. But with certain things, heat actually makes them more digestible, and heat can actually extract nutrients out. So I don't know this type of weird world that people live in where they think that heat is like just this demon, but it's not the case. Cooking astragalus down, cooking ginseng down with heat, cooking Schisandra down with heat really pulls the nutrients out of it. So do what you want. I personally do a mixture of the tea, the boiled tea with the berries ground up, and I also eat them raw. The only way you're really going to be able to enjoy eating them raw, however, is if you use fresh berries like the Wanafu berries. I'll put links in the description box below to that exact product. It's like $40 a pound. Schisandra is not cheap. So start off small. Try the recipe that I already showed you guys how to do with the moist berries. And you can even take that same exact recipe with the rounded tablespoon and use dry berries to grind them up and make the same pot. You're going to get over 1 liter of tea that way. You're not going to burn through your berries too quickly because, again, they're expensive. And it will allow you to gauge how Schisandra affects your physiology and your mind. If you use too much all at once, it can be overstimulating. So just make the tea following the recipe that I've already provided. I'll put links again in the description box below. And drink a cup, whether it be hot or cold. I like it over ice. I like it hot. I add lemon juice or lime juice from the garden. And I'll even make a Schisandra lemonade, which if you guys are interested, I'll show you in the near future how to make. That makes it really easy to consume Schisandra. But again, it's expensive as hell. $40 a pound is not cheap. And I've even seen it go for more than $40 a pound. Dragon Herbs has some high quality Schisandra. I think it's like $10 for 4-ounce bags. So that essentially comes out to about $40 a pound as well. So I like to use it not sparingly, but I like to use it wisely. And with Schisandra, if you brew it properly, you really don't need that much. If you were to not grind the berries, you're really just throwing money down the toilet or down the drain. When you grind the berries, a tablespoon of ground berries, in my opinion, when you brew it properly, has more nutrition and power in it than like 10 cups of Schisandra tea, where you just threw the berries into the hot water. That would be like trying to make strong coffee with coffee beans that you didn't grind. Imagine putting just a bunch of raw coffee beans in a coffee maker and turning the hot water on. You're not going to get hardly anything out of it because you need surface area. You got to think, with a coffee bean or a berry in general, especially Schisandra, because they're kind of hard, you have this outer membrane and then you have this inner core. Unless you pulverize and open up that inner core and increase the surface area, the hot water that you surround it with is not going to be able to get into that region and extract the nutrients. So grind your berries. I'm amazed that more people aren't talking about that. I see people all over the internet making tea, Schisandra tea, with just non-ground berries. So Schisandra stimulates, tonifies, and brings balance back to the 3 treasures of Chinese healing: the Jing, the Shen, and the Qi, or the Qi. These are 3 primordial energies that reside within us all, within our body, within our spirit, within our vital body, etc. So Schisandra over time tonifies all of those 3 primordial energies, and because of that, I view it as the ultimate bringer of balance over time. You've got to drink it regularly, though, for you to be able to experience the benefits. It's going to work primarily on your liver at first, and as you clean your liver up, your skin will feel better. You might have more energy. A handful of things can happen. Schisandra is also very good for the adrenals. It's good for the blood. It's good for the spiritual body as well. In fact, in Chinese medicine, it is one of the only tonics in the tonic herbal system that can actually enter into the main primary meridian systems, bypass into the extraordinary channels, and stimulate and balance the 3 Dantian points. It is a profound spiritual, mental, physical tonic. And 100 days of Schisandra is going to do nothing but benefit you. You might experience some anger at first if your liver's got some stuff in it that needs to come out. More often than not, when people start using Schisandra, there might be some, I've noticed this for myself and I've noticed this with others, there might be some initial discomfort. You might get even a little bit of anxiety. More often than not, that goes away and you start feeling better, and or it's because you drank too much. You don't need a whole lot of this. Schisandra stimulates stage 1 and stage 2 of liver detoxification, which makes it supreme in comparison to what most herbalists tout as the greatest thing ever for the liver, which is milk thistle. They claim it to be. Milk thistle, I have mixed opinions about. If you grind your milk thistle instead of buying it pre-ground, it can be a very potent liver protector. You can reverse liver damage with milk thistle. The problem is that a lot of people are taking silymarin, which is milk thistle extract, which I've had nothing but bad results with, and I know a lot of people who have as well. It enlarged my liver, very discomfort. I had a lot of discomfort. So I've always believed in the power of Schisandra. I think it's a more powerful liver component, or healer, if you want to call it that, in comparison to milk thistle. But with certain clients, I've actually suggested that they grind their own milk thistle and add a little bit to the Schisandra, just a little tiny bit, and they've had great results with it. So again, it's all about context. I'm not against milk thistle. But the 100 days starts today. Hopefully, I'm gonna make 100 videos. I'm gonna make 1 video each day during this challenge. So maybe while you're drinking your Schisandra every day, if you're doing this challenge, you can watch the videos, and that way we can kind of all kind of do this together. I want to invite you to really take this 100 days and do something really special with it. You know, I'm going to be doing exercise pretty much every other day during this challenge. I'm going to be intermittent fasting as well. And I'm going to be praying over my Schisandra. Maybe on the screen right now I'll show you kind of just a very basic example of how I bless some of my food. I'll put it on an altar with an angel statue, and sometimes I'll surround it with candles, an orange or a yellow, red, blue, and green candle, which symbolizes the 4 elements: air, fire, water, and earth. And more often than not, I'll place my vessel, if I'm blessing tea, on top of a picture of like a flower of life or a macrocosmic snowflake or some other piece of sacred geometry, a symbol of that, whether it be Metatron's cube, whether it be, again, the macrocosmic snowflake or the seed of life, the egg of life, the germ of life, I don't know, the Kabbalistic tree of life. I want to invite you all to really do something special with this challenge if you're doing it. Pray over your food. I have a video especially just on that subject. Praying over your food, pre-digest the food on a spiritual level. You get more out of your food, you guys, if you bless it, if you pray over it. Because if you pray over your food, it usually means that you're thankful for it. And when you have gratitude, it makes anything and everything better. If you enrapture it or inject it with gratitude. So 2021, we're at the beginning, and this 2020 was a crazy year. In 2021, it's either going to get better or it's going to get worse. I hope it gets better. So let's do things every day to try to make it better. And one of the greatest ways that we can affect the world in a beneficial way is to work on our own health. So I'm out here. I just finished a 2-hour bike ride. I'm going to do some grounding most likely. Schisandra, this is one thing that I'm just trying to create a forward momentum on a collective level with health. Schisandra is just one piece to this challenge, at least for me. I hope that you'll modify and tailor this challenge to your benefit. I hope that maybe you'll do other things. Maybe you'll want to do some intermittent fasting, or maybe you'll start a garden. Maybe you'll do some exercise every other day or every day. Get some blood flow. That's another thing. Schisandra is a very potent stimulant. That's why I've always recommended start off small. If you drink too much of this stuff, it can keep you up. So you want to drink it maybe no later than like 2 or 3 p.m., depending on how you can handle stimulating components. I can drink it later in the day because I've been drinking it so long. So it makes a very, very powerful pre-exercise, pre-workout. Very beneficial pre-workout. And I love to get out on the bike with some good music and amp myself up on some Schisandra and maybe some Rishi or some Chaga, and really go out there and just get my heart rate up and really just look at the world, look at the magnificent trees. So 100 days towards greater health. But if you're going to do this challenge, please incorporate Schisandra. And for those of you who have contacted me saying, my bag's not going to get here until the 10th or the 11th, that's okay. Just start later. And I would recommend going to the dollar store and getting a $1 calendar and just mark every day. And maybe mark all the little things that you did that day for your health. I'm just trying to get some forward momentum in people's lives with their health. And, Schisandra's going to work on the liver, and anytime you benefit the liver, you benefit every aspect of your life. But again, modify, upgrade, and augment this. Every day, do something great for your health. Just make sure to drink your Schisandra. So is there anything else to add into that? I'm sure there is, but I don't want to make this too long. A couple people have contacted me on Instagram showing me their mortar and pestle or their vessel where they're brewing their Schisandra. And they're, it's cool to see people doing this challenge. And it really is. So maybe share the information. Reach out on social media and let me know if you're doing this challenge. By doing something little like this every day, what you're doing is you are putting the rubber to the road. You're creating the necessary friction that will lead to you going forward with your health. And the necessary friction, you need that so that you can ignite what I call the inner lamp of health. And the inner lamp of health is a mass of all of the effort that you've put into play to create better health. That mass, or the continual effort that you make on a daily basis to make better health, will eventually increase your immunity, will strengthen your internal organs, will make you a more powerful individual, it'll enhance your clarity, your verbal processing, you name it. So through daily repetition, you create friction, which will spark that inner lamp. It'll light the wick of that lamp, and that lamp will guide you here in the underworld. If you do not have health here in hell, you can run into a lot of issues. So this is like an insurance policy for your health. The 100 Days of Schisandra. So as you noticed in the first video that I made about this, or not the first video, the recipe video, links in the description box below, I used a rounded tablespoon to make over a liter of tea. Depending on whether you're doing it with a loved one or a family member, you name it or not, that can last you a long time. Just refrigerate it and have a cup or more a day, depending on how it makes you feel. And you might want to swish it around in your mouth and mix some of your spit with it before you just chug it and swallow it. That way you digest it better. I'm doing this challenge with my mom and you guys, all of you ladies and gentlemen. So because I'm just doing it with my mother, 1 liter of tea will last a few days. Sometimes maybe only just 1 or 2. But usually 3. Usually 2, actually, because right now I'm drinking quite a bit of Schisandra lemonade with some organic sugar in it after I get back from my bike rides, because I deplete myself. You can also throw in some electrolytes. Concentrates makes an electrolyte mix, which is great. So do you see how this can be tailored and augmented to really help you get on track with your health and ignite that inner lamp? You could exercise on your bike every other day after you drank your Schisandra. Then you can come home and take some electrolytes and replenish your reserves. Take some B vitamins. You could place your Schisandra on an altar with a flower of life, and you could bless it and really turn this into a spiritual ritual, a spiritual and physical ritual. You can do a ton with this. I want to invite you to be creative and not be afraid to be creative, to not be afraid of your imagination. The New World Order wants to snuff our imagination out. They want to turn us into these thoughtless, moronic robots. Let's break free from their mold. Let's connect back to the earth. Let's ground ourselves. Let's block the blue light. Let's clean our livers up. Let's clean our act up. And until next time, peace be with you all. This is the climb that I'm currently riding. For those of you who have been wondering what I've been riding, using to cycle lately, this is a kick-ass bike. It's a hardtail aluminum frame Klein. It's got a triple chainring, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like the compact sets, and it's got a Easton carbon fiber handlebar set. I mean, look at the parts on this. This thing is ridiculous. And it's also got a non-suspended fork that's carbon. I cannot stand fully suspended bikes, and I can't stand bikes that have suspension in the front. I'm all about riding on the road, so I'm not a mountain biking fan at all, personally at least. And even if I do take it in the trails, this is perfect. I just like the rigid feel, the responsive feel of a hardtail bike without suspension. This is an awesome, awesome bike. It needs to be tuned a little bit, and it needs to have the seat raised, but it is what it is. Check that bad boy out. Get yourself a bike. Go out and go for a run. I like to cycle for a couple of hours and really loosen my legs up. And then I'll come out here and ground myself a little bit and run barefoot and do some sprints. You don't need to do a whole lot of running, but running will really get you fit really quick. I've got to lose some quarantine pudge. So, and I'm also, you guys, lately, I've been, because this bike wasn't fitted for me, and because I have a kind of a weird, normally when I'd buy my bikes, I'd buy fully carbon fiber, specialized tarmacs or Rubis, and I'd have the bike shop fit me to the bike. even like down to like the most minute settings on like the angle of the seat, you name it. But this bike was my mother's at one point. It's pretty much mine now, but it's just not fitted for me, and because of that, it puts a little bit of wear and tear on my knees. I want to take this bike in and have it fitted to me, but that frame size is just a little too small. So there's a little bit of wear and tear on my knees, so what I'm going to be doing is just taking some glucosamine and some MSM every day after my bike rides as well. And I'm also going to be doing the Taoist internal exercises, the stomach rubbing exercise, of which I talk about on my Patreon page. That's really going to help people. You want to increase your health 10,000-fold for free? Do the Taoist internal exercises. Pick up a book called The Complete System of Self-Healing by Dr. Stephen Chang. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up. I love you guys. Peace be with you all. I wanted to personally thank you for watching my videos and contributing to the growth of my channel. I could not do this without you, and your interest in my content is truly what motivates me and fuels my passion for making these videos and spreading my message. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to remind you that this channel is a free educational tool that is listener supported, and if you would like to donate to my channel and donate to my cause, help make my life a little bit easier and help keep the lights on around here, you can do so by checking out the links in the description box below. There's a handful of not only ways to donate to my channel, but I also have links to different websites and different videos of mine, as well as my Amazon store, where you can check out a plethora of different health-related products that I use and recommend. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your continued interest in my message, and until next time, peace be with you all.